name is Dr. Nita Evans, and I'm here today having a conversation with my mother, Dr. Alice Williams, and my daughter, the future Dr. Jacqueline Mars. And we're talking a little bit about the importance of higher education and the importance of going to college and how having a college education really has to do with creating long-term economic stability. We know that the majority of teen parents do not graduate high school, and very few of them go on and pursue secondary education and end up going to college. So we're talking a little bit about what our experiences were having been teen parents myself, my mother as well having been a former teen parent. However, my daughter, the cycle was broken with her and she was not a teen parent. But we want to talk a little bit about our norms and values that were expressed in our household. And one of the things I remember in my home was that going to college was very important.
Exactly, and the question never was, are you going to college? The question was always, what college are you going to?
And that was very important because a lot of the young ladies that I knew that got pregnant when I was pregnant with Jacqueline, they didn't have plans to go to college. A lot of them, the expectation was that they would drop out of high school, and there wasn't a lot of discussion of going to college. But I remember after having Jacqueline, that going to community college was my first option. Now for Jacqueline, what do you think in terms of the value of going to college? We know that the children of teen parents typically repeat the cycle and many of them don't go to college.
I think that with you going to school, it made an influence in my life. I can remember a picture of me when I was 4 or 5 with an encyclopedia. And so education was always instilled in our household at a young age, and you being in school while I was growing up was influential because I saw you going to class and I came on the campus, and I always knew that education was important.
So why was it important to you to complete at least a bachelor's degree?
Completing a bachelor's degree, that was just basically the bare minimum. I knew that I needed to at least complete a bachelor's. That was a given in the household. And so going on to then complete a master's and doctorate was sort of living up to the standards that you and Grandma had set in our family.
I know for me, going on getting my doctorate, it was really sort of an oxymoron. People looked at me when I got accepted to grad school and discussed going on and getting my doctorate. Teen parents don't get doctoral degrees. And I remember entering into my graduate program and people looking at me saying, okay, you have a child that you had at 16, but it was important for me to be able to sort of set a standard and live up, like Jacqueline said, to a standard that had already been set by me, for me, by you, because at that time you had already not only had a bachelor's degree and then had completed a master's degree and have now since completed a doctorate degree. So why was education so important to you?
It was instilled in my household. My aunt that raised me only had a 3rd grade education, but yet she knew the value of an education. And she encouraged me to go to school, and I started out, I got my master's, and she encouraged, I got my associates, then I got my bachelor's degree, then I got my master's, and she was always the encouraging force behind my getting a good education.
Well, I think what has also been very inspiring for all of us was then your decision to go back to school, to return to school and get a doctoral degree. What prompted that and what difference do you think that's made in your life?
Actually, since you asked that question, what prompted that was you. You were the force behind that because you, having had your doctorate, encouraged me. You made me feel like, Mom, you can do this. And that's why I went on to get my doctorate.
So now you have a doctorate in education, my PhD is in sociology, and Jacqueline is working on her master's towards her doctoral degree in psychology. So for you, what's going to be the significance of having your doctorate?
I think it would just be completing the legacy that's already been established. Having a grandmother and mother who have their doctorates, it only feels right that me coming in as the 3rd generation would also have my doctorate. And I think it's interesting that we all will have our doctorates, but we all have them in different fields, but the fields kind of collaborate
graduate together is to be able to share our successes, but let young families know, yet let young teen parents know, young women and young men, that yes, you can graduate high school, you can go to college, and you can build a successful life.